Welcome back to the Contributor Corner for Run Radio. I'm Trina and Billie Wiegand with Mountain Pine Studios. You always have some great insight. What do you have for us today?
So I'm going to be talking about something not a lot of people like to talk about, but it is important, and that is budgeting. Specifically, how do you budget whenever you're a brand new business owner or you're transitioning from corporate life onto entrepreneurship life? And this is going to be talking about mistakes I have done over the years. This is coming from expertise I've found in the community, and this is going to be kind of serving as, hey, don't do what I do and make better choices than I did. Because there's a lot of things that we don't discuss or learn about until it's too late. One of them being the difference between the business assets and the personal assets. Because starting up, me included, I had used a lot of my personal assets to build and invest in my business. And there's different routes that you could have done, but essentially the downfall of doing that is you don't have anything that differentiates between the business assets and the personal. So with my personal assets, spend 10 grand on equipment, training, software, things like that to help get it off the ground. And that can later come to bite you in the rear end whenever it comes to taxes. So something I wish I would have done is actually talk to a tax professional and being like, hey, what's the best way to go? Instead of just being, oh, I'm mad, let's go ahead and run with what we got. So that is something I first and foremost recommend is keep your business and keep your personals as separate as possible. It looks better on your taxes and things like that. The second thing I encourage people, which is probably one of the hardest things to do, is to analyze your market, analyze what is available in your area. So photographer, Springfield, Missouri, there's a lot of other photographers that offer similar services. And price is always going to be one of those things that differentiate between me and them. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's good to have that competition. Though what people in our area need to analyze and research is specifically the profit margins. The issue with being a photographer is you don't really get a profit margin for quite a while. And it's really hard to build, and that comes with your time, your experience, and things like that. Now, to say that profit margins aren't going to be similar or not similar, but different between, HVAC, plumbing, any of the trades, those numbers are going to look way different than photographers, mainly because of, the region that we're in. If there's not many HVAC, which there's only a handful that I actually know of in the Springfield region, there's obviously going to be more of a difference in that regard than it would be for the photography side, if I'm making sense. Hopefully I'm making sense. And it's going to be different profit margins for a product versus a service anyways. Products are tangible. They're going to require more things to make it. So whenever I had taught entrepreneurship to my kids, one of the things I told them to consider when they're making their prices is think about the time you're going to invest in it, because you don't get time back. Think about the material you're going to use to create your product, and then think about how long you have been making this product. If you've been only making this product for like 2 weeks, it's probably not going to be as high quality as someone who's been doing it for a year or 2 years. So I told them about that. And then kids who I kept coming back to my courses, I talked to them to make sure, hey, this is your time coming back again. You've been working on this product. It's going to be okay for you to raise it. And they kind of looked at me and think I was kind of like I grew a third eye or something. And they were just kind of shocked. I'm like, yeah, you raise your prices. Because what I had to explain to them is you've been spending time building this and perfecting it. Also, prices of materials have gone up. If you want to meet your profits, you're going to have to raise prices too. And nobody likes that.
Yeah.
It's not fun, but it's something we have to do to sustain ourselves. And that's what I always told my kids is like, you're sustaining yourself. You're not just sustaining your item. If you want to make a living of it, you have to have the profit for it. And then I also say it's a good thing to also save up for your next investment. Because I come into a very entrepreneurial family. And one of the things is that's taught is always be investing. Be investing your skills, be investing your obviously equipment, but also be investing in the people surrounding you. So those three things right there also grow your business and also impact your budget. So those are something that I have learned over the years that I would love others to learn from and also not make the same mistakes as I do. And also talk to an actual professional financial advisor and things like that. Because I'm just a photographer. What do I really know, right?
You do, though. You're reminding us we've got to do our homework. There's no way around that.
Mhm.
Very good. Thanks so much. Learn more about Billie Wiegand, Mountain Pine Studios, and listen every weekday to the Contributor Corner. And subscribe, follow at Run Radio Station on all social platforms, runradio.net.